Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving hands-on into Money Tracker. If you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by managing your assets, or if you're just looking for a highly secure, completely offline way to organize your financial life, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to click through exactly how this application acts as your ultimate personal finance command center, transforming all that complex daily data into really actionable, professional-grade insights. Here is our roadmap for this explainer. We'll breeze through registration and security, initial setup, logging transactions, the grid and statement views, calendar tracking, and finally, the analytics and dashboard. All right, part 1, registration and security. Let's talk about building that private foundation. Right off the bat, you're greeted by this really elegant, unified interface. But the real magic happens over in the registration form. The app dynamically checks username availability on the fly, and there's a built-in meter making sure your password is up to scratch. And the absolute best part, it's entirely offline. Complete local storage for absolute privacy from day one. Now, as soon as you successfully register, you're going to see this pop up, a totally unique account recovery key. And you'll see a prompt right there hammering home just how critical this specific string of characters is. Listen. Because this app is so hardcore about protecting your privacy, meaning it operates completely offline with zero vulnerable email-based password resets, you have to save this key. It's your only lifeline back into your data if you forget your password. So pop it into a secure password manager, or honestly, just drop it into a private encrypted .md file document on your local drive. Just keep it safe.
Okay, moving on to part 2, initial setup. Let's tailor your financial year.
Getting your workspace up and running takes just 3 super intuitive steps. It's really about making the software adapt to how you actually track your life, not the other way around.
Step 1, you jump into your profile settings. Here, you can pick your preferred currency, which is fantastic if you happen to track multiple currencies. Plus, you get to define exactly when your financial year begins and ends, so it perfectly matches your real-world fiscal schedule.
Next up, because Money Tracker organizes all your data by financial years, you'll want to hit that Create New Income Expense Report button. If it's your very first time logging in, your workspace is a total blank slate. You just type in the year, say 2026, and boom, it generates a fresh, empty workspace, initializing your ledger for that specific time frame.
And finally, step 3, customizing your categories. Sure, the application gives you some defaults to start with, but you can dive in and deeply edit these. You can add, tweak, or reorder things like housing, healthcare, or groceries to perfectly mirror your actual spending habits.
Setup is done. Let's get into part 3, logging transactions, the daily grind.
Whenever you have a new transaction to log, you simply click the green Add Income or red Add Expense buttons. That pops open a super clean, detailed form. You can seamlessly pick your category, use the little calendar picker for the date, and even throw in some optional descriptive text if you want to remember exactly what it was for. But you actually have 2 options for entering data. You can use those detailed pop-up buttons we just looked at, or if you prefer a much faster approach, you can use quick inline editing. When you're looking at a specific month's tab, just hover over any day's cell right in the grid, click the edit icon, and modify the transaction directly inside the table. It feels exactly like working in a classic spreadsheet. All right, part 4, grid and statement views. Let's zoom out and see the big picture. This right here is your main report page, and it is designed for maximum visibility. It uses that highly familiar Excel-style grid interface. Notice the month tabs running across the top, January through December, letting you quickly flip between detailed daily breakdowns. And right above those, you have your crucial summary cards, giving you real-time totals for your income, expenses, and net savings. Now, while the grid view is absolutely amazing for summarizing your monthly totals and seeing the broad strokes of your cash flow, there always comes a time when you really need to sit down and reconcile your logged data with a real-world bank statement. And that is exactly where the statement view shines. Click that button, and the app basically flattens your data into a chronological ledger. You get this clean, continuous list showing the date, category, amount, and a running balance. And since the whole thing is completely searchable, it's the ultimate auditing tool to hunt down a specific transaction. Moving right along to part 5, calendar tracking. Let's visualize that spending. When you switch over to the calendar view, it maps out your entire year in a format we all instantly recognize. This makes spotting trends incredibly easy.
You can visually identify exactly which days you maybe went a little overboard on shopping or pinpoint when those recurring bills hit. Hover over any day, and a dynamic summary of your red and green activity pops up right next to it.
And it's not just a static picture, it's deeply interactive. You can click directly on a month's name to expand it, dynamically maximizing the grid. Better yet, watch what happens when you click on any specific day. A side panel slides open, allowing you to view, add, edit, or delete transactions for that exact day without ever having to leave the calendar layout. So smooth. Finally, we arrive at part 6, analytics and the dashboard, the macro-level payoff. Your dashboard is your personal financial command center. It takes all those raw numbers from your ledgers and spins them into gorgeous, actionable insights. Without needing to dig through specific month tabs, you get an immediate health check. We're talking pie charts that break down your category allocations, instantly showing you the proportion of your money going to food versus housing, alongside really clear trend lines and summary widgets.
Let's look at a practical example using the dashboard's monthly income versus expense bar chart. For this specific month of July, you can instantly see the gap here. Our total investment income came in at $34.50, but our expenses for things like food and groceries pushed our total output up to $63.20. Seeing this visually as a bar chart is a total game changer. You immediately realize your expenses outpaced your income for the period, which prompts you to adjust your habits for August.
So, from strict local privacy locked down by a recovery key to dynamic visual dashboards that expose your true spending habits, Money Tracker gives you the power to command your money completely offline. The tools are all right in front of you. The only question left is, are you ready to stop just tracking and start mastering your personal economy? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy tracking!